You know the feeling, right? You've got this huge, important project on your plate, and suddenly, alphabetizing your spice rack becomes a matter of life and death. We've all been there. So in this explainer, we're not just going to talk about procrastination, we are going to build a science-backed toolkit to finally beat it and get to the work that truly matters.
But isn't it a weird paradox? The more something matters to us, the more likely we are to put it off. So what is actually going on inside our brains? And, more importantly, how do we finally break that cycle for good?
Okay, first things first, let's get one thing straight. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It's not about being lazy. It is an emotional response. We're not actually avoiding the task. We're trying to avoid the negative feelings, like stress or self-doubt, that the task brings up. It's a temporary escape that creates a much bigger problem down the road.
So let's dig into why we do this to ourselves. It's time to explore what we're calling the procrastination paradox, that internal tug of war that keeps us totally stuck.
And you know what's so fascinating is that this is not a new problem. Not at all. The ancient Greeks actually had a word for this exact feeling, akrasia. It's that moment you know exactly what you should be doing, but you choose to do something else instead. It's a fundamentally human struggle, and it's been around for thousands of years.
So here's what's really happening. It's a battle inside your brain between your present self and your future self. Your future self is the one with all the amazing long-term goals. But your present self, it just wants a cookie. It wants that hit of dopamine right now. And in the moment, that immediate reward almost always feels more compelling than some distant future payoff.
And this quote right here absolutely nails it. See, it's not the work we're avoiding. It's the emotions about the work. It's the anxiety, the boredom, the fear that we might not do a good job. Procrastination is just our brain's clumsy attempt to use an escape hatch and get away from those uncomfortable feelings.
Okay, so if procrastination is an emotional problem, we can't just solve it by telling ourselves to try harder. We need practical, real-world tools. Let's start with some game-changing techniques for managing your time.
Check out this line from Cal Newport, the author of Deep Work. He basically says that structure is freedom. Think about that. A well-structured 40-hour week can get you the same results as a chaotic 60-plus-hour week. It's all about working smarter, not just grinding longer.
So here are 3 killer ways to add that structure. First, you've got time blocking, where you literally schedule every single part of your day. Then there's task batching, which is all about grouping similar little tasks, like all your emails, into one focus session. And one of my favorites, day theming, is where you dedicate whole days to specific kinds of work, like Focus Fridays or Admin Mondays.
But if all that sounds a bit too complex, I've got one for you that is so simple it's brilliant. It's called the Ivy Lee method. It's over 100 years old for a reason. It is brutally effective.
Here's how it works. At the end of your workday, write down the 6 most important things you need to do tomorrow. That's it, just 6. Then rank them in order of true importance. The next morning, you don't wonder what to do, you just start with task number 1, and you stay on it until it is completely finished. It eliminates all the guesswork and forces you to focus.
All right, a great schedule is one thing, but you need the right headspace to actually stick to it. So let's shift from the external tools to the internal game, the powerful mindset shifts that make all the difference.
And here it is, the arch nemesis of productivity, perfectionism. As this study shows, the more we strive for perfection, the more we procrastinate. It makes perfect sense, right? We set this impossibly high bar for ourselves, and then we're so terrified of not clearing it that we never even take the first step.
So what is the antidote? It's something I call the draft zero mindset. This isn't your first draft. This is the one before your first draft. It's the messy, typo-ridden, probably awful version that no one ever has to see. Its only purpose is to exist. You have to give yourself permission to start imperfectly, because motion is what creates motivation, not the other way around.
And to get that motion started, you can use this brilliant little trick called the 2-minute rule. The idea is simple. Shrink any new habit down until it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Read a book is too big. It becomes read 1 page. Go to the gym becomes put on my running shoes. It makes starting so ridiculously easy that you can't say no. But if I had to pick the single most powerful strategy, backed by a mountain of research, it would be this one. It's called an implementation intention, and it is the closest thing we have to pre-programming your brain for success.
It's a simple if-then plan. You decide in advance exactly when and where you're going to act. So instead of a vague goal like I'll write more, you get specific. If it is 9 a.m. on Monday, then I will open my writing document. You're automating the decision, taking willpower completely out of the equation.
And if you don't believe me, look at these results. It's incredible. In one study, a control group had a 32% success rate in completing an essay, but the group that made a simple if-then plan, a whopping 71%. They more than doubled their follow-through with just 1 minute of planning ahead. That is a game changer.
Okay, so we've got the tools, and we've got the mindset shifts. How do we pull it all together and build a system that actually lasts? Let's talk about making it stick.
It really comes down to 3 core principles. 1. Remember that action creates motivation. Don't wait to feel like it. Just start. 2. Rest is not a reward. It is a requirement for good work. You have to recharge. And 3, maybe the most important, practice self-forgiveness. You will slip up. When you do, don't spiral into guilt. Just acknowledge it and get back on track.
And I can tell you from my own experience, this stuff really works. For me, the biggest shift, the real aha moment, was when I finally let go of trying to be perfect. Combining that draft zero mindset with a disciplined time block schedule, it broke a cycle of paralysis that I'd been in for years.
But now I want to hear from you. What's your secret weapon? What's the one strategy you use when you absolutely have to get something done? Drop your go-to tip in the comments below. I'd love to learn from you all. Thanks for watching.